Hello, welcome to another edition of Issues with JIDE. Here we talk about actions and inactions of those who shape our political and national landscape and how all these impact us positively or otherwise. I'm Ibrahim Sheetal. Today on the show, 3 years after EndSARS, police refuse to change. And later on the show, Labour Party Senators Shun Aburi accept 160 million naira jeeps. Because of the program, we'll take your questions, but first, subscribe to our YouTube channel and drop your questions in the comment section. It's important to mention that we can only read comments whose names are clear and are about the issues discussed. We apologize for coming up a bit late, but then I have joining me via Zoom, the maestro himself, Babajide Kolade-Otitoju. It's good to see you again, Mikhail. Mobilized through social media, the EndSARS protest shook Nigerian cities for days in October 2020. Young Nigerians say they are still victims of police brutality and their demands for system reforms have not been met. But then, according to you, based on what you see, have the police changed from what Nigerians protested about?
No, they've not. We still hear of cases of police brutality, extrajudicial killings, extortion, abuse of power, especially by police officers who bear arms. These people have not changed at all. There is a need to purge the police repeatedly of undesirable elements because they have undesirable elements in ample quantity in the Nigerian police. There's a need to get such people out of the system because the police ought to be friends of the civil populace. But if the police are not approachable, if the police are not civil in their actions, if the police are trigger happy, if the police do not see anything wrong in taking innocent lives over an argument, over refusal to give bribe, then what kind of police are we talking about here? In Delta State, a young man was shot dead a few months back because he would not part with his money. We are all going through difficult times. So it's not the police alone that need money. And if someone is reluctant to give you his money, if someone is reluctant to part with bribe, you have no reason to take his life. These things are still happening. We still see police beating up people needlessly. The other day, an irresponsible policeman beat up a man in the presence of his wife and children. Just because you are armed with a gun. One policeman from Kogi State. I mean, this thing has to stop. EndSARS protest was in response to extrajudicial killing by the police. How do you turn yourself to the judge and jury? An executioner.
Yeah.
I still remember that video that went viral that triggered the EndSARS protests. Between the policemen, there was even competition as per who would gun down the young man. One of them was saying, give me the honor of killing him. Or God, give me the honor of killing him. A bunch of irresponsible people. The other day, the DPO of Meron was removed for extorting like 200,000 naira from a phone seller. Come on, too many cheap people in the police. And this is 3 years after EndSARS. Sacrifices were made. People paid with their lives. People lost their belongings. All because they wanted to see a new Nigerian police force. They wanted a reform of the police. Yes, we got SARS scrapped. But a good number of is just the units. Is just that tactical unit of the police that was scrapped. The men who manned the SARS, they are still in the police. And there are even people in the police worse than the elements in SARS who are causing all that problem. So police brutality has to be addressed. Abuse of people's rights by the police has to be addressed. Routine extortion on our roads has to be addressed. Damage of people's property by the police has to be addressed. Corruption, torture to extract information from detainees has to be addressed. Sexual molestation of detainees by the police has to be addressed. The other day, it was a police officer from Benue State also that brought out a girl from the cell and slept with her. Come on. This is not the kind of police that we can be proud of. And if you ask me 1,000,000 times, I will tell you that the police has not changed. Yes, I'm punishing aberrant behavior, punishing extortion, punishing misuse of power by the police, punishing misuse of firearms by the police. But we still have a lot of black legs in the police. And we will never have the police of our dreams, if we do not kick out those black legs, because they do not belong there. My suspicion has always been that many people joined the police because they could not find any other job to do. Never do well in our society. They can't get into the banking system. They can't get into this construction sector. They can't work in other spheres of our national life. But they saw an opportunity to join the police. And when you put the gun in their hands, you've literally turned them to an armed robber. Many policemen have been arrested for conniving with armed robbers, for conniving with land speculators or monile, àwọn ajagunbalẹ̀. The ajagunbalẹ̀, or whatever they call themselves, operating on Lagos Island, and they cannot operate effectively without compromising the police. And you see high-ranking policemen working with land grabbers. That is an abuse of the uniform. That uniform should be your source of pride. But you are certainly going to fraternize with criminals, undesirable elements, non-state actors to commit crime, whereas the job of the police is to nip crime in the bud. So where a person that is mandated by law to nip crime in the bud gets involved in criminal activities, what do you call such a person? That That's person right. Cannot be called a policeman. It's a felon. And it deserves to be in prison, not on our streets, enforcing the law. No, these are not law enforcement agents. These are law promotion agents. These are crime promotion agents, not law enforcement agents. Crime promotion agents. That is what a lot of these policemen have become. But EndSARS has taught us that we need to take a good look at the police and institute reform, long-lasting reform. We need to recruit into the police. improve the wealth.
Right, because
These things are
so
necessary. Yes, these things are necessary. If we improve their welfare, we'll be in a position of strength to say, look, we pay you good money. Why are you taking bribe? But with the kind of salary that they earn, nobody should be surprised that they are all over the streets collecting bribe from people, because that salary has already diminished them. So there are many things that we need to do to have the police of our dream. The police
right,
of our dream respect the rule of law. The rule of law has to be sovereign in our country, and the police must be in the forefront of ensuring that the rule of law is sovereign in a country like ours.
that's right. So it is on that reform that I would like to take you on, take you up on, because what many Nigerians prioritize, they are prioritizing police reforms in their, laundry list of citizens' demands. The concept of police abolition is also gaining support, but it has yet to break into, the mainstream of political discourse. What kind of reforms do we need? Do the police need to be scrapped, or basically what urgent reforms do we need to put on the table for them?
There are all kinds of reforms that can happen. There's no need to scrap the police, but you have to look rigorously at recruitment to the police and training. The training is very important. Recruitment has to target the right people. The right people. Mark my words, the right people. Not the never-do-wells. Not people who cannot find any other thing to do. So at the level of recruitment, if we get it right, we can then move into training. Training across board that helps us to achieve the police of our dream. The kind of training that you give constables is not what you give the officer cadre. You have to design training for each cadre in the police, because it's not the junior officers alone that are guilty. Some of the senior officers are worse than the juniors. They are juniors. Then the notion that the police is superior to the civil populace is something that has to be addressed. The police is not superior to the civil populace. The police is responsible to the civil populace. The police must owe their existence to you and I. They are there to serve us, not vice versa. When the police see themselves as servants of the people, some of the conduct that we see them show will be a thing of the past. Some of the conduct we see them show on our highways, on our streets, will be a thing of the past. So every IG will have his own idea of what changes, what positive changes he wants to bring. And when we are talking about reform, reform must lead us to a police that has zero tolerance for corruption. When we are talking about agencies of government, parastatals of government that are corrupt in our country, the police stand out like a giant in a room full of dwarfs. Yes. When a giant stands in a room surrounded by dwarfs, is the definition of standing out.
That's right. That's right.
So the police, the problem of the police begins and literally ends with corruption. Corruption ensures that even people do not deserve to get into the police are shoehorned into the police. They are helped into the police because this person knows this person, that person knows this person, or this person is prepared to pay some money. Corruption has ruined the career of many policemen. Corruption has led many policemen to work with armed robbers. Look at a man who used to be in SARS, who joined them in the armed robbery attack on some banks in Kwara State. He had been in SARS. He was dismissed for corruption. And then he decided to join the armed robbery gang fully. So we have to deal with institutional corruption as it concerns the police. The routine disrespect of the civil populace by policemen just because they are in uniform has to stop. We have to address that.
That's right.
The police must treat people with courtesy. You must treat people with courtesy. Whether it's their car papers that you want them to give you, you have to do it in a polite manner, with courtesy. As servants of the people, as people, as those serving the people. Why do you think they call soldiers or people in the armed forces servicemen? Because they deliver service to all and sundry.
Right.
Many people enter the police, all they are interested is what they can get out of the police within a short time. They've seen their seniors build mansions from ill-gotten money. They too want to do just that. That sensitization, that reorientation has to happen. And when that happens, and we address the issue of recruitment, we address corruption, honestly, our police will be the police to be proud of. Not what we have now. Some of them, they won't even wear their uniform. They will look dirty. Some of them will be moving around in flip-flops. You know, flip-flops that we call bedroom slippers in Nigeria.
That's right, okay. Let me take one or two comments. And Tunji Bello says he was in a plaza building at Onepano, a major bus stop in Lagos in March, when he saw police officers harass a family in their car near a police station. I want to see a better Nigeria. These people won't change. Taiwo Akinjide says, increase their salary, nothing will still change. These guys are so bad and mean. Ilori James says, I hope this regime will change the image of these police because I'm not hopeful of any change for as long as criminals are recruited into the force. You know, we can keep talking about these and on and on. Bolaji Rofeat also said, many have lost their trust and respect for the police force. Even if they are reoriented, do you think the force can regain its relevance? Well, we'll take that as a rhetorical question. Because of our time, we need to move on to the second topic, which is, you know, the National Assembly and the new cars, and especially looking at the national chairman of the Labour Party, Julius Aburi, who condemned the 160 million naira official vehicle being awarded to each of the 360 members of the House of Representatives, you know, urging his party lawmakers to reject the gift. But reports have it that these senators have started, or these lawmakers have started, these reps rather, they have started receiving their gifts, you know, shunning Aburi's advice. What do you make of this, PK?
Yes, you know, the funny thing about Aburi and some of his colleagues in the Labour Party, they amuse me a lot. They really make me laugh. They believe that there has never been a political party like their party. What they fail to realize is that Labour Party is just like any other party that we have had in our country. And a good number of them, the people today who are in the National Assembly, they were in the PDP, they were in the AD, they were in the APC, they've been in different parties. I have a friend, for example, who was in the PDP for many years. Today is in the Labour Party. And is a National Assembly member. So do they think that these people are from outer space, that they are different to the rest of us, once you get into the National Assembly, the things that others do, you tend to join them in doing it. I remember an ACN member who was complaining about the extortionate salary and the allowances of senators. And then he contested and got into the Senate. We were thinking that he would reject that salary or say, no, this is an obscene salary, is too high. Oh, my own, I'm conceding my own to my constituency for them to do projects. He continued to take all the allowances, all the salaries that the rest of them were taking, the same salaries that he complained about, and even granted an interview to a news magazine. He too collected it for the number of years that he was in the National Assembly. He never saw anything wrong about it. Once you join them, you tend to feel that, okay, what others are benefiting, let me begin to benefit. That is the nature of the Nigerian politician. So if people like Aburi sit in their offices and are imagining that the Labour Party members in the National Assembly will reject the SUVs that are going to be given to them, they must be very, very funny. They must be a very funny bunch to think that will happen. And of course, they're already telling him. Some are even asking that, did he give us official car? Did Aburi give us an official car that he wants us to reject our official car? Because they see it as their entitlement.
Right.
So they are not going to reject. In any case, how many Labour Party members are in the National Assembly? For that agitation, for that protest to be meaningful, you have to have considerable number of people from your party. In the Labour Party, in the Senate, they have just 8 members out of 109. In the House of Reps, they have 35 out of 360. The number of Labour Party National Assembly members is not significant enough to cause a protest that will eventually lead to a change of mind. Those of them that have been spoken to have even made it clear that, look, we are going to take it. Look at one of them, Stainless Chijoke Nwodo, saying, nobody in the National Assembly is against the vehicles. When they come, we will collect them and use them to bring more benefits to our constituencies. National Assembly members should pray for the president and give him 3 gbosas for his magnanimity. You can imagine. Then another one even complained, Ngozi Okoli complained that politicians at state level even benefit more than people at national level. I wonder where he got this from. And he said they actually give them more vehicles. People can say anything to justify a course of action. And Ngozi, who is the Labour Party representing Aniocha North and West, as Delta North, is the one who defeated Rep Elumelu in court. So it's from the Labour Party. He said the jeeps are work tools. The same way you have a laptop. The jeeps are work tools for lawmakers. The SUVs are meant to aid our jobs as lawmakers, particularly as it relates to our oversight functions. Yes, you can say the economy is struggling, but having just one official vehicle as a federal lawmaker is not frivolous. That is what a Labour Party member is saying. The message of Aburi and others is clear. Aburi is saying, we are calling on Labour Party legislators to the 10th Assembly to kick against the unnecessary wastage of resources in line with the ideology of the party, which is social justice and equal opportunity for all. How insensitive can the government become A bag of rice is 50 kg today. These vehicles will be costing Nigerians 57.6 billion. That's what it says. Unfortunately, while I agree with him that it is against the grain, it is against the mood in our nation to spend about 57 point something billion just on vehicles. I know that telling lawmakers from the Labour Party to reject the vehicles is a waste of time. They are not going to listen to him. They are not going to listen to him. They will collect it. In fact, on the day that those vehicles are released for the use of lawmakers, Labour Party members in the National Assembly will be in the forefront. They will probably be among the first set to collect, because many of them are coming to the National Assembly for the first time. And what others are benefiting from, they too are eager to benefit. So these are Nigerian politicians. Nigerian politicians are predictable. Believing that they will reject vehicles is ridiculous. They will not. He should have known that. Who will listen to him? And they are saying, look, did he give us official cars to work with that? And he's saying we should not collect. This is the way the Nigerian politician thinks. Yes, we are going through dire straits as a nation. But a lot of our politicians are completely detached. They are not reasoning the way the rest of us are reasoning.
Right, Nikhil. Let me quickly take one or two comments. Jimo Ahmed says, this is not a good time for this type of gifts. Many Nigerians are practicing suffering. And Oluwapo says, I have always said it, Nigerian politicians are the same. They can't disappoint me. Yeah, so because of our time, Nikhil, let me quickly ask you this question. Judging by the economic situation of the country, many reactions have traded news of these, power gifts. What are your thoughts on the timing of this type of gifts to lawmakers? And the fact that they also said we should consume local content. I'm not sure the brand of cars that was gotten, but I know that Nigeria produces cars.
I would have been very excited if any of the if not innocent and other Nigerian vehicle makers were patronized. But you and I know that if they offer to give them innocent jeeps, they are going to reject the innocent jeeps. These lawmakers, they are going to reject the innocent jeeps. If the innocent have been patronized, you can imagine giving innocent more than 400 and let's say 480, giving innocent opportunity to and 80 jeeps, SUVs, sport utility vehicles. That will boost the economy. That will help the local industry, local automaking industry. But I can tell you, knowing that because in the past efforts were made to supply them the innocent brand, they will not accept it.
Right, BK, very quickly, let me
and
just
they will point at presidents.
Sorry, BK, let me just quickly call your attention. We might have to bring this interview to a close very quickly. If you can, summarize your response in 2 minutes, because we have actually run out of time, really, since the platform we're using. Please carry on.
I'm saying that I will have been happy to see those vehicles supplied by local automakers in Nigeria, not innocent jet mover and the rest of them. But if vehicles from those local automakers were supplied to the lawmakers, they will reject it. If they supply them, they will reject it. Attempts have been made in the past, and they said, no, we do not want this one. They want the Toyota brand. They want Lexus and the rest of them. So that is why it's like we are helping the economies of other countries to grow. by patronizing such products. Look at Indians. Indians will use Tata. Tata is an auto company in India. They would rather use their own brand of vehicles than use Toyota and others. We have to start to do that. In Nigeria, we must begin to do, manufacture our own vehicles and patronize them.
That's right.
You know, if it was those ones that were given to them, nobody will complain because we are helping the auto business to grow. You know, Obama saved the auto business in the US when they had the recession of 2008. So there's nothing wrong if government will patronize our automakers very well. But that is not what we are seeing. When they give it to them, they will say they don't want, and they will protest. At the end of the day, you will be forced to go and bring luxury SUVs for them. So it's not beneficial to anybody, and the time is not right. At the time when people are groaning, people are suffering, people are complaining, this is not the right time to bring this kind of idea.
That's a very, very brilliant submission, BKO. We sincerely appreciate your keenness of, insight into, these very two germane topics we've discussed so far. And we hope that, looking at the messianic behavior of those who are looking for other parties to come and save Nigeria, but we can see what is already playing out, even if they're in power. Well, that's our show for today's edition of Issues with JIDE. Special thanks to you, Babajide Kolade-Otitoju, for those insightful analysis, as always, BKO.
Thank you.
Yeah, we need to race to the end of the show, BKO. Thanks to your audience for joining us on every edition. You can see the program again anytime by subscribing to our YouTube channel, TVC News Nigeria. Click on the subscribe button to get the latest information. You can also follow us on our social media platforms at TVC News NG, also at Ibrahim TVC News. On behalf of the rest of the team, I'm Ibrahim Shita. See you again next edition. Bye for now.